Today on Toby's Trains, we travel to Dothan, Alabama to catch a day in the life of CSX local L734. This local transfers cars between the CSX yard and the Mainline Railroad's transfer yard. Today's power is 2 GE locomotives. The power varies on how many cars there are on the local. Come along with us as we follow a day in the life of CSX local L734, a production of Toby's Trains, presented by TKP Studios. It is April 1st, 2024, in Dothan, Alabama. While most people view April 1st as a day to pull pranks, today, for me, it was to photograph some trains. Whilst for CSX, it was just another day of hard working, of taking cars to and from place to place. And for local L734, it was no different. And we see them switching cars in the yard in Dothan. L734's usual job is to transfer cars between the yard here in Dothan and the Mainline Railroad's transfer yard. But before L734 could occupy the main, some other traffic had to be cleared first. We see a CSX track inspector passing through Dothan from the east. Later, we see train M650 coming into town. The power of this train is number 5347, a GE ES40DC, and number 756, an ES44AH, also built by GE. Boxcar. New York Central gondola. BNSF high-cube boxcar. A Union Pacific high-cube boxcar. Quite a lot of CSX boxcars in this one. Oh! Even some TOFC black cars. It's a rather short one for M650. And it really was a short train for M650 standards, with this train only having 63 cars. Usually has over 100 cars. With the main line now clear of all traffic, L734 was now given the go-ahead to occupy the main. Today's train features 36 cars for different customers on the mainline railroad. That noise you just heard, that loud bang, came from the last covered hopper. But I didn't know that until later on in the day, when I got a closer look. Upon arriving at the connection with the mainline railroad, L734 started with switching the cars around. But first, their main priority was starting with transferring the cars from the transfer yard onto the CSX mainline. Start of the cars being transferred from the mainline railroad's transfer yard here. from a customer of the mainline railroads at the port in Panama City, Florida. Once the switch was set and locked, L734 started shoving the cars from the transfer yard up onto the CSX main line. Once the cars were uncoupled onto the main line, L734 shoved its cars into the transfer yard. wasn't until this moment I discovered the source of that loud bang I heard earlier. It had come from this, which was dangling extremely dangerously low on a covered hopper. I had notified the CSX crew about this, and they had informed me that the mainline railroad had car inspectors, and they had informed me that they would take a look at it. To know a little bit about the motive power. Number 5264, first of all, is an ES40DC built by GE in October of 2005, whereas number 3398 is also built by GE, but it's an ET44AH built by GE in 2015. Pick up the rest of the cars from the transfer yard to be shoved back to the CSX yard. The switch was set once more. The L734 had shoved the rest of the cars up to the other cars waiting on the CSX main line to couple up. Connected and the connection was made, L734 once again started shoving all of the cars from the transfer yard up to the CSX yard. L734, and 5264 working hard so that the locomotives won't stall while shoving all of the cars to the yard. After setting the cars out in the yard, 3398 and 5264 reversed back to the CSX yard office and tied down for the evening. Quite soon after, L735 set out from the yard to do its evening seconds after the last car of L735 went by, CSX 825, a GE ES44AH, sounded the horn for the many crossings along the way. Well, this concludes a day in the life action of CSX Local L734. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a like and subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to hit the bell to keep up to date on upcoming videos and tell others about the channel. This is Toby Pasman for TKP Studios and Toby's Trains. Over and out. I'll see you next time. God bless.